Welcome to Sheena Says, a podcast about wellness, parenting, and real stories.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Sheena Says. So, we are discussing cholesterol today, and I really want to discuss this because it is such an unfairly demonized subject of cholesterol. Let's talk about it. What is cholesterol? It is actually a fat like substance, a lipid that your body needs to survive. About 70 to 80% of your cholesterol is actually made by your liver, not from food. So you need to create the cholesterol. Your body requires the cholesterol to build cell membranes. Every single cell needs it. Makes hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and cortisol, and produce vitamin D, create bile to digest fat, support brain and nerve function. So, cholesterol itself is not the enemy. The problem arises when it's imbalanced or damaged. Now, why do we have LDL and HDL? Cholesterol cannot travel alone in the blood. Fat and water don't mix, so it rides in transport vehicles called lipoproteins. LDL is a low density lipoprotein and often called the bad cholesterol. But that's really an oversimplification. What LDL actually does is it delivers cholesterol from the liver to the tissues, helps repair cells, and makes the hormones. When does LDL become the enemy? When there is chronic inflammation and it gets damaged, there's excess sugar and smoking or stress. LDL isn't bad by default, it is required in our body, but LDL plus inflammation equals trouble. So, what is HDL? HDL is the high density lipoprotein, often called the good cholesterol. And why? Because it acts like a cleanup crew. It really carries excess cholesterol back to the liver and has the anti inflammatory and antioxidant effects. So, it protects the blood vessels. Higher HDL, better cardiovascular protection. Why do cholesterol problems actually happen? The cholesterol numbers alone don't tell the full story. It usually is a combination of things, a combination of stress, a combination of high sugar, processed food, insulin resistance, lack of movement, very sedentary lifestyle, and poor gut and liver function. And using stimulants like smoking, weed, drinking, all of these affect our liver and its functionality, and nutritional deficiencies. So, why do some people with normal cholesterol still get heart disease and others with higher numbers don't? It is quite possible, first of all, cholesterol is essential for everybody. So, it is possible that genetically you are more driven towards having a higher level of cholesterol, and or that's just part of the diet that you're doing. Now, let's talk about the diet, which most doctors don't educate you about. They don't tell you that your diet might be causing the main issue. They don't talk about the oils that you're using. If you're eating deep fried food, if you're eating fast food, if you're eating very processed food, for sure, those are saturated fats that are only going to add to your cholesterol. Now, we need the cholesterol, but not in that much. Our body's producing enough if you eat the right foods. So adding saturated fats on top of it is not helpful at all. What oil then that you should be using? I would highly recommend EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. It gets a bad rap, and everybody says, "Oh, it's not good for high temperature cooking," but that's really not true. You do not need too much of it, and you shouldn't be using too much oil to begin with in your cooking. Only because in today's times of Instapots and electronic pressure cookers, with absolutely no need for the oil because they cook under pressure and there's no need for the oil. We are not cooking in pans today, and if you are, then you're doing it wrong. If it's taking you longer to cook than to eat, then you're doing it wrong. You should not be using that much oil to begin with, and the oil you should be using is extra virgin olive oil. It does tolerate high food cooking, maybe not for frying stuff, but you shouldn't be eating too much fried food to begin with. Every once in a while, if you're snacking from outside or eating out, it's okay, but if that's 80% of your diet, then you're doing it wrong. The other thing that most doctors don't talk about is that if you eat a lot of shellfish, it will definitely increase your cholesterol levels. Another big factor to look out for, egg yolks. If you eat eggs, you have to avoid the yolks because the yolks are where the cholesterol lives. Now, if you just do egg whites, you can eat the eggs every day, but if you're going to eat the yolks, that's going to add up. And the last but not the least, the biggest contaminator would be dried fruits and nuts. The nuts, any nut has oil in it. That's why they make oil from it. Coconuts, almonds, walnuts, Brazilian nuts, pistachios, these are all full saturated fats which do not break down easily. They are not easy to digest. So this is a myth that the nuts, all nuts are good for you. They really aren't, especially peanuts on a daily basis. Definitely no. Do they have other nutrient value? Yes. But you need to be cautious in how much you're consuming. You cannot just snack on a whole planter's box and expect your cholesterol levels to be just fine. You need to make the effort to eat the right foods. So if you're snacking on nuts on a daily basis, your cholesterol is going to be high. If you're eating fried foods on a daily basis, your cholesterol is going to be high. If you're using some, oils that are high density saturated fats, your cholesterol is going to be high. So what do? You have to use the right oil. You have to reduce your fried food intake. You have to step away from the egg yolk, step away from eating too much shellfish like shrimp or, clams. But you can have everything in moderation. You just can't make that your daily meal and expect it to be fine. And then, most importantly, work out. If you have consumed food, it needs to be burnt. Food is fuel. It is not meant to sit in your body. If you're not using it, then it will stay and it will cause further issues. Taking a statin, very simple, pop a pill, and your cholesterol is going to get lowered. The statins, each of them, atorvastatin, rosuvastatin, simvastatin, paravastatin, all of these have huge side effects that have been cataloged, but people ignore them because you just want the shortcut. You want the lazy way out. You want to eat the fried food, but not have to deal with the cholesterol. So why not pop a pill and make it go away? But what you're not realizing is that the statins will eventually have long-term side effects. And those side effects are much worse than simply stepping away from the fried chicken or the pakoda that you're craving today. So doing fried food in moderation is fine as long as you are ready to work it off. If you work it off, it will be fine. Do not give away everything in your quality of life simply to a statin because it's an easy way out. They have several cataloged side effects, which are not limited to, you can Google this, muscle pain, weak cramps, fatigue, low energy, brain fog, memory problems, liver stress. They actually elevate your liver enzymes and cause liver overload, which is counterproductive to what you were kind of wanting to do, which is improve the liver functionality, not make it worse. There are several supplements that also help reduce the cholesterol. Cholesterol flush is one of them. Liver MD is one of them. You can improve your liver functionality and you can lower your cholesterol levels if you simply follow these simple protocols, and it will help you actually balance your life out, reduce your stress levels, take the supplements, step away from the foods that I talked about, and do it naturally, do it the right way so you don't get victimized with the side effects that the statin produce. And this is where I would say do it right, live well naturally, and you will be the one enjoying a higher quality of life. Thank you for listening. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to Sheena Says, and for more info, please visit yourhomeopathy.com.